let's get started. Yes, this is Elimination Part 2, and today is the 21st. Yes, Lesson 15. Wow, where has the time gone? Okay, here we go. Well, the Lesson 15, the first example looked something like this. 7x plus 3y equal what? 25. And then, I like to line these up underneath each other. So underneath the x, I'm going to put negative 2x. Now, if this wasn't already lined up, we would take the time to line everything up underneath each other. And then minus y. Of course, there's an invisible 1 there that we could put, if you need to, equal negative 8. Now, do you remember what we were doing yesterday? Yes. Elimination. But do you remember what I call it? The opposite method. Because that's exactly what you do. You have two equations, and you have two different variables. One way to work out that kind of problem is the elimination method or the opposite method. So we got to get opposites on your x's or on your y's. It doesn't matter. But usually there's one that's easier to do than the other. So let's take a look at this problem. How about 7 and 2? Well, you could go positive 14 and negative 14, because that would be the first number that 7 would go into, and then 2 is going, I don't think I want to do that. Let me take a look at my y's. Oh, look here, 3 and 1. So it's like this number wasn't there, and that's why I think the y's would be easier, because you're missing that front number. Aha! So the y's are automatically going to be easier. Now, if you have a positive 3 here, and you want a negative 3 right there, then what do you have to multiply by? Because yesterday, they were already opposites. You didn't have to do this step. But today, you've got to make them turn into opposites. So how are you going to do that? You're going to pick a number and multiply by it. So I want that to stay a negative. So if you want to keep your sign, which we do, we got a positive 3. So underneath it, you would need a negative 3. If you want that sign to stay the same, then you're going to multiply by a positive number. But if you would have wanted that sign to change, then you would have multiplied by a negative number. Okay, now what number do I need right there? Oh, I need 3. So that's why I'm multiplying this one by 3. I'm making the opposites. So bring down your first one, 7x plus 3y equal 25. Distribute the 3 all the way across. So 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. 3 times negative y is negative 3y. We did that on purpose, because we want opposites. And then 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. Now, that one extra step of multiplying, and you have to figure out the number that you're multiplying by, that leads to yesterday's lesson. Ooh, now we already have opposites. So I'm going to cross them out and not put anything underneath them. X's and subtract with other x's. So 7 minus 6 is 1x, or just x. equal 25, that's a positive 25, minus 24 is 1. So we got x, we got our x coordinate. So I'm going to put my answer right here. I'm going to put the 1 first, and then I'm going to go back and figure out my y coordinate. So how do you figure out that y coordinate? Yes, that's right. You just to find the y coordinate, you're going to plug in the number that you have. Well, you plug that 1 into your x. So you're going to go 7 parentheses 1 plus 3y equal 25. And this is going to give you positive 7. And this is what we do in my class. We keep the variable and we move the number to the other side. When you move the number, you have to change the sign. So this is going to be 3y equal 25. This positive 7 is going to become a minus 7. And then what is 25 minus 7? Well, that's going to give you 18. Finish the problem by dividing by 3. And y equals 6. So the answer is 1, 6. Now, let me tell you what this is, because I don't think I mentioned this yesterday. And that's why I like to teach it several days in a row, so I can say different things about it. But what does this answer mean? Well, if you were to graph the two problems, they would turn out to be lines. It's called linear. And it would look something like this. This is not exact, but you know, something like this and then something like this. And this is where it would cross. 1, 6 is where your two lines would cross. Now, do I do that in another video? I do eventually. All right. So let's go on to example 2. Example 2 is 2x plus 9, y equal 36. And underneath it, you're going to have 2x minus y equal 16. Okay, now I'm going to say this. Okay, I'm going to use the elimination method. I call it the opposite method because that's how you start off. You try to get opposites. Positive 9y, negative 9y, positive 2, negative 2. Okay, but I want you to notice what does the problem look like? Well, you got two equations and you got two different variables. That's what an elimination problem usually looks like that. Okay, now, which way do I want to go? Well, either way is going to be easy. You have a positive 2x right there, so underneath it you need a negative 2x. Well, how do you get a negative 2? By multiple. You want that sign to change because it's positive. So since you want it to change, that's when you multiply by negative. Well, negative what? Negative 1, because you want the 2 to stay a 2. So that's what we're going to do. Now, we could have done our y's right here. Positive 9, negative 9. That would have been just as easy. So I'm going to put this in parentheses. The whole thing? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The whole thing. I want that to be a negative right there. So I'm multiplying by negative. I want to keep the 2 a 2. So that's why I multiply by positive 1. By 1. Now, bring this one down. 2x plus 9y equal 36. Okay? And then this one, we're going to distribute negative 2x. Negative 1 times negative y. When you're multiplying two negatives, that's a positive. 1 times y is 1y. Equal -1 times 16 is -16. Now do the math. Well, x's add and subtract with other x's. And, you know, they're opposites, so it's going to give you a 0. So what have I been doing? Hey, I'm just going to cross them out and not put anything. 9 plus 1, that's going to give me 10y equal 36, and a -16 is going to give me 20. Divide by 10, and y is going to be 2. Now, I'm going to start my point, my ordered pair. And since I got a 2 for the y, then the 2 has to be second. Again, how do you find x? Plug in the answer you do have. Okay, so we're going to take the time to do that. It doesn't matter if you plug it into equation 1 or equation 2. They both would work. You're plugging in the 2 for y. So you're going to go 2x plus 9 times 2 equal 36. 2x plus 18 equal 36. Again, you know what we do. We keep the variable. We move the number to the other side. 2x equal 36. That plus 18 becomes a minus 18. 2x equal 18 when you subtract. Divide by 2. X equal 9. So your final answer is going to look like this. 9, 2. And again, if you were to graph these, which we're going to graph, you know, it's going to take a little while, but we'll get there. When we graph these, they're going to intersect at that point right there. All right, so if you don't have any graph paper at home, you know, might want to go to the dollar store and buy you some. If you don't have any, you can always just do the best you can by making those hash marks as equal as you can. Don't need graph paper today, but you will sometime soon. All right, another good day in Algebra 1, and got you a little bit of work to do. Okay, so let's see if I can hold this up for you to see. All right, now looky there, lesson 15. It tells you to use the elimination method. There's my date, 21st. And question 3 and 4, hold that up for a few minutes. Oh, actually not a few minutes, a few seconds. Okay, 3, 4, and 5. Oop, odds and ends. Ooh, exponents. Looky there. I hope you remember. If not, you can go back and you can look up a YouTube video on that. And let's see here. There's some more. You know, it's the rules where you multiply numbers, you add exponents, divide numbers, subtract exponents. Anything to the 0 power, like number 10, you know, is 1. Anything to 0 power is 1. Number 7 is the power rule, if that helps you at all. Okay, if you can't see this, then, hey, just let me know. I'll send it to you. You know my number. All right. I will see you later. And again, thank you for still watching my videos. Because if you weren't watching my videos, then I wouldn't be making the videos. All right. So when you give up, then I have to give up. When you quit, I have to quit. All right. See you later.